What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Jack of Old Games. I'm going to do this video talking about some stuff going on in gaming right now, a modern gaming rant discussion, because we need to talk about some things. I got some notes written down. What I'm basically going to be talking about is recently found out that Xbox is raising their prices, their games, and their consoles. Also reflecting on the Nintendo Switch 2 shit, and just overall what's going on in gaming nowadays with price hikes and all this shit. What the hell is going on in modern video games? Is just getting ridiculous. Things are getting too expensive when it comes to video games, and it's not justified. I don't care what you say. Video games since the seventh generation have started to incorporate dumbass shit like DLC and microtransactions that progressively got worse. And yes, I'll admit I bought some of this stuff and supported it, but at least I can acknowledge I've done it. At least I can acknowledge that what we should do with this bad stuff in gaming is we should vote with our wallet. We should decide we're not going to accept this and vote against it like people did with the Xbox One in 2013. But I don't know what the fuck happened ever since then because people don't do it anymore. The reason we're in the position we're in with gaming nowadays, with everything you're seeing, is because most people are not voting with their wallet, and you got YouTubers like RGT85 who will say the Switch 2, talk about the Switch 2 thing, but then turn around and say they're gonna buy it because it's their job. No, your job is why we're in this position. Companies are going to continue to do this and push the needle even further as long as people support it. It doesn't matter how mad we get or how turned up we get on camera, say this is bullshit. They're going to do it regardless of what you have to say if you're going to still support it. So let's talk about this shit. First, I'll go over the Switch 2 thing, which I made a YouTube short about, but I'll also talk about it here. The Nintendo Switch 2 was announced this year, and the console is going to be $450, a huge price increase over the original Switch, which I believe was $300. And the games are going to be from $80 to $90, which is ridiculous because games were already raised to $70 in the ninth generation, which wasn't justified either, mind you, because they're still going to release DLC and microtransactions. And now they're going to increase the price again in the same generation. This is the first console generation we've had this many price hikes. It's not justified. I don't care what companies or what fanboys want to say about graphics and game development. I don't give a shit about that stuff. It ain't justified, period. And with this Nintendo Switch 2, the Nintendo president coming out saying that game prices, it could be variable, it could be this much or that much. So sky's the limit. There's no limit anymore to what the price is. That's bad. And it's like he also said that if you can't afford the Switch 2, then stick with the Switch 1. It's like Don Matrix shit when he said people that don't have internet get the 360. What kind of shit is this? And the Nintendo Switch 2 still sold out. Pre-order still sold out. And some people wonder why we're still in this position. Now look, I would vote against a lot of this shit if most people would do it. But I just get this opinion of like, or feeling of like, why should I vote against it if most people are going to do it? Because what difference am I going to make if most people won't do it? So the Nintendo Switch 2 thing is bullshit. 450 for the console, ridiculous. And I heard they won't fix the Joy-Con issues. The games being $80 to $90 is fucking bullshit. Games even being $70 was fucking bullshit. Because you're still gonna get fucking bullshit patches where you gotta download a patch for the game and install the game, and you gotta get the DLC and microtransactions to even get the complete experience. So technically it's gonna be even more than that if you factor in the DLC and microtransactions. It's not acceptable. And the physical games for the Switch 2, when you buy the physical game, you got to download it. I'm not talking about just the install, which is stupid in itself, but like you have to have the internet in order to use the physical version. And that's bad too. And that $90 and $8 shit is stupid. And they're charging $10 for a beta test game, which is like testing the controls and feel of the Switch 2, which is ridiculous. It's like you should have to pay extra to get like a demo of how the system's going to work. And Nintendo, honestly, I mean, all these companies can do anti-consumer things, but I will say Nintendo, I think out of the three, if I had to do a ranking, they are the worst out of the three. They are the most anti-consumer company in gaming, absolutely. Because they go, not only do they pull out of the shit with Switch 2, but they are the most extreme when it comes to the ROMs and emulators. They will go after people that make these emulators or fan mods, or they'll make emulation of old games, just trying to preserve them. What about the people on eBay and Amazon charging all this money for your old games? And Nintendo doesn't do anything to circumvent this supply and demand. They do these digital stores with their old games and they take them down or they charge a lot themselves. They just don't do it right. And it's like, well, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to play these old games. Why should someone have to spend an extraordinary, whatever word you want to say, price for a video game? They should be able to just play emulation version. And them going against like certain modded games, fan projects, it's just wrong in my opinion. They're anti-consumer to the core. But Sony and Microsoft is as well. Don't get me wrong. I just think Nintendo is the worst out of the three. But that whole Nintendo Switch 2 thing is bullshit. Fuck those prices and fuck what the president of Nintendo said, trying to tell people they need to buy a Switch 1, the Switch 2 is too much, saying the prices, there's no limit to it. This is some anti-consumer bullshit. Gaming is getting way too expensive. Game companies are getting way too greedy. But we wouldn't be in this position if a lot of us would just vote with our wallet, not only talk about it. But the next thing I'm going to get into, which is the more recent news, is Xbox is now raising their prices, which I think is a domino effect of the Nintendo shit. Because it's a domino effect. So we'll probably see Sony do it next, which is a real shame because I still have a PS5. I was wanting to get a PS5, but if it gets a huge price increase, I'm definitely not going to be able to get it unless somebody sells it for cheap or it's been so much longer after or something changes. I don't know. But with Xbox is raising their prices. The Xbox Series X is going to be 600 fucking dollars, going from 450 or 400 bucks sometimes price drop, jumping all the way to 600. That's ridiculous. Especially when, like people said, their exclusives are on PC. It ain't like when you buy the Xbox Series X for $600, you're gonna get games only on there. Fucking ridiculous price. Fuck that price. And then the games are gonna be raised to $80, their first party titles. It's just domino effect of the Nintendo shit. It's unacceptable for Xbox to do this shit, to raise the price of their console, to raise the price of their games. Now, one of the things that's mentioned in this discussion with Nintendo and Xbox is that it could be the Trump tariff thing, where Trump has the tariff thing. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I mean, if it is his fault and if it is a result of tariffs, that does suck because that is shitty. But at the same time, is it also the game company? Is it also them making the decision to increase it? It's kind of I'm kind of up in the air with that. I don't know if it's 100% this or 100% that, but I think it could be maybe a little bit of both. But it sucks in general for us as gamers. And the principle is that it shouldn't be this much. Even if people can afford it, it should not be this much. Video games and consoles should be released at a reasonable price because there's a lot of expenses in this world that people have to tend to with their money. Internet, rent, food, etc. The cost of everything is crazy right now. People have to account for all the things they have and, entertainment is kind of one of the things last on the list because you need other stuff more. And to raise the price of video games, it's like fuck that shit. It's anti-consumer, and what our response should be to that stuff is to not support it. There's no justification for the Switch 2 shit, and there's no justification for the Xbox shit. I'm not even that interested in the Series X, to be honest with you. Because the fucking console, when you buy the damn thing, before you even use it, you have to do a one-time internet check-in to use the physical games. And I question the longevity of the system with physical media. That's why if I were to get a next-gen console, it would be the base PS5 because it doesn't have that. Whereas the slim PS5 has that bullshit. And it's just like, what's really next for gaming moving forward? I used to be trying to optimistic and think about like some games looking forward to because there is some modern games I do want to play, like Silent Hill 2 Remake, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. I'd like to revisit some of the Resident Evil games that also came out on PS5. But at the same time, there's just a lot of bullshit going on in gaming that's unacceptable and not right whatsoever. And just dumb overall. You know, I hate the way things are going with pricing and stuff. It's stupid. This is just dumb. And it's just going to get worse, I feel like. It really is. And it's like, how is anybody going to afford this hobby and be able to afford to play any of these games? I got tons of games I still need to play. I definitely have a backlog. There's technically like 8 generations of consoles to play, all the stuff on PC. You know, that's why, honestly, the way things are going, the PlayStation 5 may just be the last console I get because with how Switch 2 is with the physical media and their prices, and how Series X is going to be with the prices, and if PlayStation follows suit, and depending on how physical media goes in the 10th generation with PlayStation 6 and the other consoles, PS5 might just be my last console because the only reason that I see any existence left for consoles is the physical media. I like physical media, it's a cool thing. Now, I use all formats. I think we should just have all, in my opinion. But I do like physical media, and that's one of the things that is kind of holding consoles together. Now, if they really dumb that down, like it's happening with Switch 2 and the stupid internet check-in with Series X when you first get it, if that continues to get worse, what will be the point of consoles anymore if their physical media is just worthless? I know some people already say it is worthless because of DLC and microtransactions and patches, but that's not 100% true because does it play who they test a lot of games? A lot of games will still work even without going on the internet, but there are exceptions like Back for Blood with the online only shit. But there's a lot of games that'll still work without the patches. But because it is a little exaggerated, but it is still stupid. But there's still some value there, I feel like. But if it's just going to get worse, I don't see no point in consoles anymore. You know, there's a good friend down here on YouTube I know. He's going gamer rant. Now he's critical gamer. He's supposed to be sending me a gaming PC in the future. That'll be where I'll be headed. And you know, PS5, the way it's looking, last console, PC will be next. Because at least on PC, you may be digital, but at least you got emulation. At least you got mods. At least you can play online for free and not have to spend money to play online. And all that shit, all that good shit, you know. It just seems like it'll be the way of the future, honestly. It's just a damn shame to see the way things are going, you know. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it it sucks. It really does. So, yeah, it's just not acceptable, you know, because the price increases for this stuff is not going to circumvent all the other stuff and the excuses they'll make. It's like, oh, you know, Xbox says development prices are going up and the cost of things are going up, and you know, I think Nintendo may have said the same thing. And it's excuses. It's greed. It is greed. It's exactly what it is. It's greed. You know, Adam Korlick said something that I disagree with. I want to mention here because he made a video about the Nintendo Switch 2 thing, and he basically said that you know companies are supposed to rip people off. That's what they do. And yes, companies can rip people off, but at the same time, I think companies should try to provide a good product for people and not always be greedy. You know, I mean, isn't the point of a company to sell a good product to people that then generates revenue, not just generate revenue and be greedy? Is it backwards? You know, and people talk about how the economy and its inflation and all that, but like the Brad Rules said, weren't some games 70 or higher back in the day around the N64? And if that's the case, does it make any of this make sense? I don't think it does. Regardless, it's bullshit. And you know, it's getting to the point where gaming is becoming like a rich person's hobby. You know, it's like, man, and another thing that's ridiculous about this, the Xbox Series X is like a 5-year-old console now. It's been out since late 2020. Fucking now we have consoles that have been out for 5 years now getting a price raise to fucking 600. What the fuck? You know? That makes me wonder how much is the next Xbox going to be? If the Series X is going to be raised to 600, how much is the next Xbox going to be? Going to be $700 or more than that? It's just getting stupid as hell, man. It's dumb. It's fucking dumb. And it's like, what the hell, man? You know, it's like, it's bullshit, you know? I like playing video games. I like to enjoy games, but these are some of the big problems with gaming nowadays. And it really puts a sour taste in my mouth with modern gaming. You know, I don't want to be a 100% doom and gloom person where I have nothing new to play, because I do, you know? But it puts a sour taste in my mouth because it's like, oh, that sucks, man. It's like a, it taints it. It's like gaming is tainted right now with this bullshit. And a lot of these gamers and YouTubers who speak out about this, if you don't vote with your wallet, it's just going to get worse and worse. I do wonder how much longer it'll take before people actually start to vote with their wallet. How much longer will it take? How far will they have to go until people actually vote with their wallet? That's what I wonder. You know, there was something I was going to mention about like gaming with, I can't even remember at this point, but in general, what I got to say about modern gaming in this rant discussion video on the price decrease, it's nonsense. And then don't even start on the GTA 6 shit. There's rumors that GTA 6 will be $100. I don't give a fuck the money that Rockstar puts in GTA 6 or how much you want to say this like a one of the most grandiose games. They put all this money in it. It looks so great. I don't give a shit. GTA 6 being $100, if that happens to be true, is not fucking acceptable. I don't give a fuck what game it is. I don't care if it was Dead Rising, anything I like. Not $100 for a game is ridiculous because you know they're gonna milk GTA 6 for online shark cards. How much money Rockstar makes from their games alone, how much they make from the shark cards of GTA 5, and there's rumors of $100 GTA 6. It's just ridiculous. There's no excuse for that bullshit. There's principle. to this stuff. So, because when I see it, whether you can afford this stuff or not, it's bullshit regardless what's going on. It's not acceptable, man. Back in the day with gaming, when I was playing PS2, N64, when I was playing the 360, before, kind of the DLC started going off, and even with the DLC, it wasn't as bad as it was now with the shit. When I was playing 360, I wasn't spending 70, $80 on games. I wasn't spending all this crazy amount of money on gaming. It's too fucking much, man. Fuck this shit. So, yeah, there's not really much else I can think of saying in this video. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I thought it was just time to talk about this instead of just regulating it to a YouTube short, but peace out.